Hello students, in this video I am doing a sum on quadratic equation word problem which is based on speed, distance, time. So before you start your sum you should be very clear with the formula of speed, distance, time. So as you see, this triangle helps us to remember. So speed is equal to distance upon time and time is equal to distance upon speed, and distance is equal to speed into time. So let's read the sum. Some school children went on an excursion by bus to a picnic spot at a distance of 300 kilometers. While returning, it was raining and the speed had to be reduced by 5 kilometers per hour, and it took 2 hours longer for returning. Find the time taken to return. So we'll assume the original speed to be as x. I know we have to find the time, but let's assume the original speed to be x. So there are two situations, while going and while returning. The total distance is same because they are traveling to the same spot and coming back. So the total distance in both the cases is 300 kilometers while going and by coming. The speed we have assumed while going as x. While returning, the speed was reduced by 5 kilometers, so the speed becomes x minus 5 kilometer per hour. So the time taken while going will be time is equal to distance upon speed. So the time taken while going will be 300 upon x, and while returning it was 300 upon x minus 5. Now they have told that it took 2 hours longer for returning. So the difference of time between the two journeys was 2 hours. Now, as you remember, the journey while returning will take longer time. That is why the fraction has to be placed first when I am subtracting. So I get my equation as returning time, which is 300 upon x minus 5, minus the going time, which was 300 upon x, is equal to 2. Now, there are two things you have to keep in mind when you are framing the placing the fractions to frame the quadratic equation in speed distance sums. If your speed is given kilometer per hour, your time should also be in hours. Lot of sum, the time is given into minutes, so you should always convert it into hours by dividing by 60. Here the time is hours and speed is also kilometer per hour. Secondly, while placing the fractions, you should always see that the fraction with a smaller denominator makes a greater fraction. So if I have to compare half and 1/3, half is a greater fraction than 1/3. So same way, x minus 5 is a smaller number than x, just like 2 is smaller than 3, but the fraction but as a denominator of a fraction with the same numerator, it becomes a greater fraction. So when you are confused in placing your fraction, always remember when the numerators are equal, the denominator with a smaller number makes it a greater fraction, and if you're subtracting, the greater fraction has to be in the front. That has to be your first term. Now let's simplify. So when I multiply the x, I get 300x minus 300x plus 1500. This is the spot where a lot of students make sign errors because minus into minus makes it plus. And in the denominator, when I multiply these two, I get x square minus 5x. Now on simplifying, I can cancel out the 300x and minus 300x. So I get 1500 is equal to 2 into x square minus 5x. I can shift the 2 on the other side and divide it. So I get x square minus 5x is equal to 750. On shifting all the terms on one side, x square minus 5x minus 750 is equal to 0. I have framed my quadratic equation. Now I need to find two numbers. The product of those two numbers should be minus 50 and the difference should be minus 5x. So I can split the minus 5x into minus 30 and plus 25, because minus 30 into plus 25 gives me 750, and when I subtract them I get minus 5. So x square minus 30x plus 25x minus 750 is equal to 0. So my two brackets are x minus 30 and x plus 25 is equal to 0. So the value of x is 30. As x cannot be negative, x cannot be minus 25, which is not possible, and therefore the speed was 30 kilometers per hour. But this is not my answer, as in the question I was asked to find the time to taken to return. So generally we stop on finding the speed and we fail to read our question again. So if I have to find the time taken to return, so returning time was 300 upon x minus 5. So I have to go further, and 300 upon 25 will give me my answer. So which is 12 hours. So this is my final answer. The returning time taken by the bus was 12 hours. Thank you.